But it is very difficult now to have to stand up and find something fresh to say. I don't intend to try. I'm going to read my letter, and I'm sure they will forgive me if I take that liberty. Dear David, I would like to extend my most sincere thanks and appreciation for your hard work and efforts over the past 7 years. When you first came to us, it was to bring a Jewish content into the youth sections. There were those who doubted that our attempts in this direction could succeed. However, they did not reckon on the determination and ability which you have shown. The past 7 years has seen a transformation in the Centre's informal Jewish youth work, and side by side with this work has been the training of young people to a very high standard. At the moment, there are over 50 young people who are undergoing training, and I am impressed with the degree of knowledge and commitment that they show. These young leaders' skills not only raise the standards of the Centre's work, but make them knowledgeable, articulate, and able to argue a case. They are able to examine their own motivations and respond to directives. They will not only be young people who will be highly sought after by prospective employers, but they will in time become communal leaders. I am proud that the Centre has been able to show that today's young people, given the right leadership, can be as committed as any other generation to their Jewish heritage, and also to extend the hand of friendship and help to those less fortunate than themselves. If I had to capture the standards of your achievements in one paragraph, it would be this. When you first started Jewish programming, you adopted the title, Enjoy Being Jewish. Such has been the progress made that this title has now been dropped, because Jewish programming is now an integral part of the Centre's work and is so recognised. You will acknowledge, I know, the many people and colleagues who have worked alongside you and helped you in your work, but you were the catalyst, and now the Centre is accepted as being in the forefront of informal Jewish education, and we are constantly being held up as an example for others to follow. One of the positive results of our decision to increase Jewish awareness in our young people and your success in carrying out this program is in highly motivated professional youth workers wishing to work with us. The work you have started can never be lost, and I am sure that those who follow you will continue to expand the work we do in content and in depth. I hope that you feel that the Centre has played a part in your development as you have in the Centre's, and in leaving us to continue further study. The best wishes of the Board Council and all those associated with the Centre, your friends and colleagues, go with you and with Nikki. Many years ago at the Wanstead Rooker Jewish Youth Club, there was a club magazine called Wigwam. This was produced entirely by members. When asked why the title Wigwam, they replied, well, we wanted a title with two W's. Wigwam was the only thing that we could think of. And a wigwam is a home, and for us, the club is a second home. I hope that you and Nikki will always regard this club as a second home to you, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you whenever you are in the neighbourhood. Thank you.
I was only given 30 seconds, and because I have no privileges, I'll only take 25. There will be probably when we put in the evening your gifts and some other surprises. But in the meantime, I just want to take the opportunity on behalf of the staff of the Centre and your professional colleagues to give you a small gift David. The gift, I think, is something you want, and we hope it lasts a long time. What will last a very long time, what will last a lifetime, will be another gift, something else that we couldn't buy, that you can't buy for money, and that's our respect to you as a person, as a professional, and I hope you know that I mean that when I say that. The rest of the evening is going to be run by a different group of people. These are the people who planned this evening and who organised it, and they're going to run the rest of the evening. These are also the people who have been most important to David. We all know it, and they know it. So I'm going to hand you over for the rest of the evening to the young people of Redbridge.
David, you thought this was going to be an ordinary farewell party. But no, David Goldberg, co-founder of State 48, Redbridge Jewish Council Chairman, Sinclair House Executive Member, Chicago Youth Worker, Intermediate and Senior Youth Worker of the Redbridge Jewish Youth and Community Centre. Tonight, David, this is your life. Tonight, this is your life. David Jonathan Goldberg, you were born June 27, 1961, into a family of four, making 3 children. Your early years were lived in Golders Green.
And David, little did you realise, when we left Golders Green, crying our eyes out, how happy you would be here and what a wonderful future with the money that you between you.
And so here with us tonight, your mum Shirley and Dad Simon.
First of all, when he was about 2.5, maybe 2, we planned to go up on boxing night it was, and we booked the table very close friends. And David was determined then, as he is now. He stood up on his cot and he said, "I'm gonna jump! I'm gonna jump!" And I'm afraid he said that all night. He didn't go out that night. And the other thing I like to know about David, when he was 13, his elder brother had a friend that used to visit Hackney and the East End and used to visit people that weren't able to shop and do certain things. And David asked one day if he could go along with his friend. And we said, of course, remembering he was only 13. And he went along with his friend. And he did think, he never told me about when he came home, probably never even asked. But one Christmas, a Christmas card arrived. Being the nosy mother that I was, I opened the card, and in it said, "Thank you, David, for the wonderful holiday that you gave me this summer. God bless you always, Lil." And I said to David, "Who's this Lil, and what's this holiday?" He said, "Well, Mummy," he said, "I went up to see this old lady in Hackney. She'd never had a holiday in her life, and I didn't say anything to you." He said, "I took money out of my post office savings, and I sent her on this holiday." And that's my day.
Thank you, Mum Shirley and Dad Simon. Okay, as I said, Dave, you have an older brother and sister. Do you remember in your early years how you were always getting in the way of their relationships? In the way of their relationships. I think that his sister Shelley, husband Stephen, and children Stacey and Robert are probably best left to explain this one. Please, thank you.
David and I have an older brother, Warren, who's about 2 years older than me. David's 6 years younger than me. As most parents, they asked either Warren and I to babysit one Sunday night. I went out with all my friends. Warren stayed in and babysat. And in our house in Goldberg Green, the front door was a glass door. I said to all my friends, "Why don't you, after the film, why don't you all come back to us?" Warren's there with his girlfriend, which is his wife now, Gail, and we'll have a coffee back at my house. Fine. As I arrived at the house, it was pitch black, and our front door, the hallway led into the lounge. So like a decent sister, I rang the doorbell, knowing exactly what, or thought what was going on. My brother Warren came to the front door and said, "Why did you ring the bell? You've got the key." And I said, "Well, yes, but you know, I don't know what's going on." He said, "Fine. David has been sitting in the middle of the room the whole night. I had not moved 1 inch. When I mean the room was in darkness, it was in darkness. And like David, and as often as he is, he wouldn't go to bed. Until he heard Mummy and Daddy coming through the front door, and then he ran up. But let me just say that he is the most fantastic brother and a fantastic uncle and brother-in-law. Let me just give this over to my son Robert, and he'll tell you.
Okay, unfortunately your brother Warren, who was mentioned, he and his family on holiday in France and cannot be here tonight, but they do have these words for you if we could go and give them to you.
And I'll miss all your fun and games and everything, but I know one thing I won't miss, your tickling. So, I'll hopefully see you in 2 years. I'll miss you lots. Bye! Hi, Uncle David and Auntie Dickie. I really will miss you. And I hope you have a lovely time in America. And I really will miss playing with you down. And for the last these 2 years. And bye-bye!
Hello, David. Well, here you go. 2 years. And Auntie Nicky, yes.
Hi, Auntie Nicky.
What can I say? Sorry we can't be with you tonight, but we'll be in France, as you know, with my family, you've just seen. And I'll be able to see you soon. And I'm going to go see you, yeah?
Well, please, I'm going.
I'll be coming out to see you just over before Christmas via recording to Los Angeles on business.
Has been in Redbridge Club, was the first taste of school life in 1966 to 67. We're in there somewhere. Is there. One of your teachers, Mrs. Unger, if you remember, is unable to be with us tonight, but has sent this message. David, I remember you so clearly, especially as you were head boy. You were such a great example for the children that year, and will never be forgotten. David, I send you all my love, Mrs. Unger. From Hasmonean infant, he moved up to Hasmonean grammar and made some good friends. And like all school children, he had a best mate. David, if you're lucky, before you leave, I'll give you one last chance to meet me at Salutia. Yes, your best friend from your school days is here with you tonight, Brian Cohen. 1977, Dave. Your family moved to Chickle, where you went to work in your father's hardware and came to good business. Moving from Goldberg Green and making new friends might not have been easy. Good luck, but there was... So moving from Goldberg Green and making new friends might not have been easy, but there was someone who you became best pals with.
I was at my cousin's bar mitzvah some 15 years ago, and this scruffy, smoking North London boy came over and said, "Hi, I'm moving to Wilford. Maybe you could introduce me to some people."
Yes, your best friend from your early Chickle days, here, Waxford.
Well, that's where our old friendship started. It cost me a few bob, but I managed to get to play. We made many friends themselves. We've had many happy and a few days of fun together. But it was at your first charity disco that I met my wife Michelle. Thanks, ladies. You've been away several times together. Remember the time we went down to that?
Yes, I do.
We decided to go to Jerusalem. We hired a car, got halfway up to the most desolate place on earth, and I think we were driving, we drove off the road, we got a flat tyre, we had no idea what to do, we couldn't change the tyre, we wouldn't do it. Fortunately, a UNG came along, and I was quite prepared to go to the road for them to stop, but it stopped anyway. They got us on our way. Dave's contacts came up front, and we managed to spend the night in the girls' dormitory. But in the morning, we were apprehended by the guards. Quickly brandishing our British passports, we managed to get out of the situation. Dave's resourcefulness turned up front and he said, "We must get a new spare tyre to replace that one." And as it turned out, on the way back in almost exactly the same spot, we got another flat tyre. This time we managed to fix it and got home safely. Dave has been a really good friend to me and Michelle, and I wish you anything all the very best.
I'm simply saying that I owe a lot to this man. Everything sort of is a consequence of something else, and we just go on meeting people. But I really have to say that when I first moved to this area, Ian was the person that put himself out to make a friend. I didn't know anybody at all in the area, and I really appreciate it because a lot's happened since then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. 1977, you began your first move towards Jewish involvement. In North East London, you and some friends founded State 48, a fundraising organisation for Mogging David Adom in Israel.
It gives me great pleasure to present the keys to Lord Janner.
Yes, one of those people who co-founded State 48 is here with you tonight, Gary Silver.
I was asked to come down here this evening and say some funny things about David and State 48. And in all honesty, nothing funny happened on State 48. State 48 was a body of 6 people originally, and we went up to nearly 50 on the committee. We worked for 6 years raising money for Mogging David Adom in Israel. We raised, at the time, it's a lot of money, we raised £25,000 in 6 years. We gave a heart lung machine to a station in Kiryat Shmona. We dedicated an ambulance to Lord Janner, who's no longer with us, and miscellaneous medical equipment. There was a committee that was very dedicated, that worked very hard. We did 12-hour discos, car rallies, quizzes, which we now the actual scoreboard was nailed to the floor. I'm not saying Chickle should, they might sue us. It was a very hard-working committee, and I think everybody wants to thank David for forming that committee. He was chairman for 2 years, passed his chairmanship on, and well done.
Thank you, Gary Silver. What's that for smell? Oh, nice. Bibles, David. Any ideas? Special Bibles, not any Bibles, you just like to... Hold on a second. Bibles with a story. Unfortunately, the man whose shop you and your friends used to hang around in your younger days cannot be here with us tonight, but he has sent these Bibles and these words. Message from Mr. Schultz, who unfortunately can't be here tonight, and I am here. No redemption on the message. First of all, I want to say how upset my wife and I are that we cannot share this evening with you. Our shop has been closed for some time now, but we shall never forget David, Gary Silver, and all the boys from State 48, who came to the shop every Saturday night. David was always a quite serious one. I just want to say that it was an honour and a privilege for my wife and I to serve these boys. And the Redbridge's loss for you and Nicky Lee from Redbridge. Best wishes and lots of luck, Mr. and Mrs. Schultz. After State 48, your involvement in the Jewish community increased, and you found a young Mogin David to coordinate all the activities in Britain. As a result of your work, you were awarded a Certificate of Merit by Mogin David. From 1980 to 1982, you were chairman of the Redbridge Jewish Youth Council. Amongst all of your committees, there were two that you have worked very closely with. One, unfortunately, cannot be here with us tonight, but sends you this message. I'll take this one, you know.
Well, David, I'm sure this has come as a great surprise to you. If you haven't been told, this is Melvin Gold, and I hope you're having a great evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but business dictates that I should be in Aberdeen this evening. I'd just like to praise you for the great work that you did as chairman of the Redbridge Jewish Youth Council after myself, and took it on from a reasonable organisation to a very strong one, and one at the forefront of the community. I do question, however, some of the techniques adopted by you on one leadership weekend. I seem to remember you wandering around people's rooms at about 7 o'clock in the morning, waking them up with a video recorder. Very embarrassing for some of the people gathered with you tonight. Anyway, hope you have a great evening, and we'll be seeing you soon before you go off to the States. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Something maybe some people down here have experience with. The other person I mentioned is now your best friend, who I think followed you after you as chairperson of the Youth Council, Michael Goldberg.
I too have been asked to tell funny stories, but I really think it's not my place at the moment to tell funny stories. About 10 years ago, perhaps just over 10 years ago, when Melvin was chairman of the Youth Council and I was his vice chairman, somebody arrived at one of our meetings and sat, I remember, at the very far end of the table to me, and Melvin. His name was David Goldberg, unknown to everybody else round the table. He was wide-eyed, with some sort of a glint in his eye, extremely ambitious, and quite frankly, put the wind up us. He turned out he had unbelievable ideas for the community. He had unbelievable ideas for this community centre. Nobody believed he would do it. People tried to get in his way, people were cynical, people created hurdles, but a lot of people helped him. David, I really believe that everything you set out to do, you achieved. Only you could have done it, and everybody thanks you.
After the Youth Council, you worked at the Chigwell Club for a year, and after making a name for yourself there, Redbridge signed you up. Where in 1983 you became youth and community worker in the intermediate section. When you started, there were 4 full-time workers, of which only one is still here. Again, unfortunately, she cannot be here with us tonight, but does send this message. David. Firstly, I want to say how sorry that Dave and I cannot be with you this evening. Since I have known you, David, over the last 7 years, I have seen you grow from strength to strength. Your hard work and input in all sections shows by what the seniors are doing for you this evening. I've seen you, David, at times looking very tired, but still making time for difficult decisions, and then having to sit for quite some time with another young member, sorting out what seems to them some very difficult problem. For this, David, and you still have time for an elder member who just wants to pass the time of day or have a chat. I must say, David, one of your attributes is your calming influence over people, always ready to listen, and if help is required, David, this always you will do. I personally have never seen you flustered, and I can only say that anybody thinking of going into youth work in the future, they couldn't do any better than to use the standard that you have set as their goal. Good luck to you and Nikki in your new venture. Please keep in touch. I and all the day centre will miss you. Members of the day centre will miss you and hope that after your stay in Boston, you'll see them back at the centre on your return. All our very best wishes to you and Nikki. All our love, Jean and David Schindler. So, move from Chigwell to Redbridge. You can come on after all. In 1984, you took your first Redbridge trip and sports around Jonathan. Which, as you all know, is now an institution here at the centre. And one of the participants of that tour in 1984 is here to tell us a hidden story. I think, Richard Levine.
You must excuse my nose, I didn't have enough time to know my lines. David, well, I made it. I've flown from London, Los Angeles, Sydney, Hong Kong and back to London just to be with you this evening. And you're probably wondering why I go to this extreme. Well, there was somebody on This Is Your Life who's just flown 23,000 miles just to be with you this evening. Anyway, there will always be a moment that stands to mind about you, David, and that's the Israel tour of 1984. I was the only fully bona fide member of Redbridge Club signed up to go. And what was to be officially the first tour of Israel from Redbridge Club. I got very worried, David. I just thought it would be me and you. Well, with your clever thinking, I merged with MAL to become a very special group that shared one brilliant experience together. And I have something here that I'm sure David can explain to us all. Well, I'm sure you'll remember it. If you just like to hold that down. Oh my God. Can't go there, David.
Bring back any memories, Dave?
It certainly does. Painful last time.
Well, I don't know if you might like to have a little story you can tell everybody about that evening, if you can remember it, that is.
One of the people on the tour, that was a really horrible story, one of the people on the, it was the very last night of the tour, and we were just coming down for the last night party, which was going to be on the beach. And one of the boys was waiting, and everybody got down to meet. And he sort of picked, a bit of fight, started pushing me around like that. I don't know why, perhaps he just the last night he thought he was going to get his own back on me and all that I'd done to him the last 2 weeks. And I pushed him back, just friendly, and he got a bit sort of aggressive. And he thought, he wrenched my arm out of my socket. I was down in the hospital, it was the last night of everybody was having a party, and I was sitting in the hospital waiting to be seen. And I came, it was marvellous though, because I didn't have to carry my suitcase the next day. And everybody felt really sorry, but you should see the parents' faces, they got a bit straight and sort of a bit strained. That's the story, really, isn't it? Without mentioning any names.
It's no names, no names. Anyway, I remember another incident on top of Masada during our tour, and it was what you can take it off now. And that's what you served us up for breakfast, David. I'm still recovering from it. Yes, and I have a sample here in this bag. In fact, it's still the actual original of what you. Let me get it out of the bag. And I'm going to now present this to you for a packed lunch for your travels to Boston. There's some cucumber and salad, some squirting cream cheese, you remember squirting cream cheese? And some boiled eggs. I come loaded. Anyway, well, your influence on me certainly rubbed off, David, when I decided to pack my bags again for kibbutz, which resulted in the best 6 months experience that I've ever had, even though I'd like actually to take this moment, David, to thank you for everything really that you've given me in the last 7 years, and cheers and good luck.
Thank you, Richard Levine. In 1985, we changed the already established Jewish Identity Weekends away and gave them a new name, EBJ, Enjoy Being Jewish. Those 3 letters are now placed in club history, and as we know, our members never look back. Various residential sites have been used in the time. Woodrow, Bushy and Skeet. Well, there is one I have just left out, which grew to be our favourite venue, not only for EBJs, but also many other sections weekends away. And the lady who's looked after us for all these years is still here to tell the stories. Please welcome Mrs. Bright.
There's not really much I can tell you about David, really. He's brought lots of clubs to the house, some good, some not so good. But usually when he was in charge, we didn't have too many problems, as long as we had apple club on the menu. But I'd just like to say that David, you were one of the kindest and most thoughtful YouTubers I've had the pleasure of meeting.
It's a good weekend memory, eh? But not all weekends go to plan, do they, Dave? As well we know. Hastings? Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it does.
Only 85 was the time, thankfully, an experience that was never repeated. We don't have anyone to tell a story tonight, we'll leave that one for you to give us a brief insight.
Well, you know, what we say is you really have to work hard to mess up on the weekend, and I don't know, there is one or two people that are here that were on the weekend, who were two prices and standing things. I think just everything went wrong. First of all, the coach arrived about 7 hours late. Turned up for some really late hour on Friday. And so therefore we sort of had supper at about 11 o'clock at night. And then we already stopped. Going on to sort of windows breaking, what are they called? Those things, projectors. Projectors not working. Projectors not working. People wanting to go home. People having a really bad cold and yeah, it's usually like the person with a bad cold. It was just awful. Just nothing happened basically. I wanted to go home.
Something that happened again. Okay. Also in 1985, you took your second Redbridge issue at the time.
Sorry.
You took your second Redbridge issue tour. Another participant who would like to say a few words, unfortunately can't be here, but has this message and all you have to say.
Hello baby, this is Lady. Hello baby, this is Nina. We come to wish you blessed luck for Israel, haven't we, Nina? Yes, I haven't seen your door. Here again for one more time. It's like one more funny joke. You know, they said to us, why not record a joke for David in your auxiliary coma? And so we said, okay, so we're going to do it. Nina, kick it up, baby. Whatever, talk about it. Think out what and here is the punchline. Let us just translate that for you. Nina. There was an elephant walking down the road. He went to cross the street. Then he saw a chicken. And here is the punchline. The chicken got run over. Okay, David, we got to go now. But we do wish you best of luck, don't we, Nina? We do. And to anybody else there who knows Nina, maybe, we say, Chevrochulaka. To you. And you know what that means. Goodbye. We know you're going to America, really. It's just a funny sense of humor. Come a little.
Thankfully, I don't think there's many for them. Somewhere in there was one of your participants, Stephen Ackerman. Oh, there you go. He may have been in there, quite possibly, I'm not sure. In 1986, you started your youth and community certificate at Thames Polytechnic. This was a 3-year course. Someone that saw you through that was with you through the whole 3 years is here tonight as well, Myra Topper. They even miss meetings or even know you.
Tell them stories about
Well, we finished a year ago and we keep saying to each other over the year, it's okay, we survived. Somehow we survived the course. We both really wanted to get qualified. We both promised each other that somehow we would get each other through the course. And we did. Halfway through, I was absolutely sure I was going to give up. And Dave said to me, I promised you, I'm going to get you through this course. And it turns on David to give up. I said, David, we promised each other, we're going to get each other through this course. It can't have been the happiest 3 years of our lives, really, but we learned quite a lot. We learned a lot about other people. And I'm really thankful for getting me through it. And I just think, for me personally, the work has always been on the way time.
Thank you. Okay, we're in club for the moment, and we're moving to 1986. And it was around this time you made a few weekend jaunts to Marbella in Spain. Whoops, here we go. On one of these weekends away, it seems as if World Cup fever had hit you, and it was proven that even the cool, level-headed David Goldberg, as we all know, could lose his temper. To enlighten us into this story, your World Cup companion on that weekend, Stephen Curtis. Unfortunately, I'm not telling the story I wanted to, which you'll be happy about, probably. It seems quite strange to me that the majority of my life has been to do with the club, and I'm now going to tell a story which has nothing to do with it. Anyway, as Saul said, it was 1986. It was about this time of year, it was World Cup time. David was on holiday in Marbella with Nicky, and being in the travel business, I got the chance to go out every now and again for short weekends. And it just so happened that I went out there and we met David in his hotel, which was a massive hotel. I mean, it went from one Marbella to the other, and seemed to anyway. And England were due to play Morocco that evening. It was, well, we didn't get to see much of it. It was, we decided to see whether we qualified for the next round. There were 3 televisions in this marvellous hotel. It just so happened that only one of them picked up the station that we wanted to see the England versus Morocco game. So we didn't know that at the time, so we went down one end of this hotel to find the television. We had got hundreds of mechanics tuning it in, couldn't find a thing. Then went to another television, another part of the hotel, still couldn't tune it in. We eventually found the television which had the station where the England-Morocco game was going to be shown. It was a big room, about as big as the world, and the television, if I remember right, was a bit bigger than normal. I don't know, it might have been a normal television. And there was about 45 Spaniards in there, watching what we could only presume was, we didn't know what it was, we presumed it was a Spanish version of That's Life, without Esperanza, and that was as far as we could go. Anyway, we asked how long this programme was going to carry on, because we wanted to watch the football, obviously, great football fans. And they said it won't be long now, it won't be long. So we sat, and we waited, and come to kick-off time, and we're sitting there plutzing, like, waiting to watch the football and everything. So we thought, well, we make a little bit of noise. We started talking loudly, see if we could get some of these Spaniards out. I mean, peanuts got thrown all over the place. And then it got to a stage where it was about 5 minutes before half time, and we were watching That's Life in Spanish, not understanding a word. Now, David was getting, it is true, more and more irritated as time goes on. Nicky's here to vouch for it. It came to half time, and he asked very politely if we could turn the television over to watch a football game, and we got no response whatsoever. David got out of his chair, which was about 6 rows back or something, stormed up to the television, pulled out the aerial, and ran out of the room, saying, and you'll excuse my language, but I won't make it too bad, if I can't bloody well watch my football, you're not going to watch this. Well, he didn't say that to us, took the aerial and ran straight out of the room. Well, all the Spaniards were in uproar, they were shouting and screaming, the security guards came in, the manager came in, and you know what David's like when he wants to get his point across. He was saying to the manager, look, I paid for a room in this hotel, I'm entitled to watch the television, aren't I? Well, it's a story that I would... Yeah, but he did hit me actually. We were thinking of suing, but we didn't bother. It was an amazing thing. It just goes to prove that, I mean, a lot of people know that they can lose his temper, but to see him jump out of his chair, run onto that television, pull that area out of the plug and just go flying out of the room, it's the most amazing thing that we could ever see in life. It was one of the memories we had of Spain, the other one I won't talk about. Just going back to club and everything, as I said, I've spent a lot of my life and my childhood here. I haven't been here for a little while actually recently, but I've spoken about it recently quite a lot, and it's amazing when you think back about all the things that have happened in club life. I was privileged that you were part of that. You taught me a lot. You're going to be sorely missed here. But good luck in Boston, both to you and Nicky, and come back soon and see us all. Okay, back to Weekends Away again, but this time EBJ style. There are many funny stories that have evolved over the years, too numerous to mention. We can share one of the many, and here to do that is one of over 200 people that took part in the EBJ project, Lara Blue.
We were going to Bushhead, I don't know where it was, we were going to Bushhead, and about a mile, which was seemed like about 4 miles, we were told to get off the coaches, we found that. We then had to trace all the way, a mile, to Bushhead, while he drove past in the car. We got to Bushhead, and then we had to go through immigration. This is the one that the simulation game we had to go through. I would like to say we did get him back, but I don't think he's got much to do that weekend. I would like to say the EBJ weekend was brilliant, and they were where a lot of people got a lot of their Jewish knowledge and enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
Song contest. Now, they're a yearly event at the Redbridge. They're a yearly event for the Redbridge Jewish Youth Council. And since 1983, when you started, Dave, Redbridge have won 3 times: 86, 87, and 90. And it was in 86 when you helped co-write the winner Reach for the Sky with a member of Tarkau Selby. Oh no, bloody lights. Daniel Luton when you need him. Daniel? Daniel?
Use this one. Right, I'd just like to say I've been involved in the centre many years, and David Goldberg has literally kept me here through himself being such a nice person, and you know, he's really taught me a lot, and I've really grown up into a real pleasant young man as I get older. I'd just like to say thank you, David.
He's done quite a few committees that not many people know. The founder members are probably the smallest committee. The lot committee to sort out
Cupboard committee.
The cupboard committee to sort out cupboards. We're all different groups. We haven't got anywhere to store this stuff. And it's just
a meat cupboard.
Yeah. There's little things like that that show your dedication. I know you can get on all wherever you go.
I'm not. All I'm saying, it's a pleasure working with you. We're all going to use
Okay, away from the centre again, this time up to 1987. After going out for nearly 2 years, it was up to Liverpool for your wedding to your wife, Dickie. Your wedding.
Truly, I was strict according to the law of Moses and of Israel.
הרי את מקודשת לי ונבעת זו כדת משה וישראל.
when the battery goes in. And to tell us what the last 2 years have been like, your wife, Nikki.
There are many stories that I could tell, one of which is when David saw that photograph, the photograph that you saw at the beginning there, he got such a shock, he lost 2.5 stone in 3 months. Other stories that I could tell involved when we were decorating the house, we went to B&Q or one of those places, and David wanted to make sure that the wallpaper was going to be just right. So he unravelled an entire roll right across the shop to make sure that it looked right on the wall. Of course, there's the other story of, like, it was the 25th of December and I was still asleep, and we have a red duvet, and suddenly I was shocked to see this creature in a red duvet and a red pillowcase and sort of cotton wool around his mouth appearing around the bedroom door. And of course, there's all the times, like every Friday night when we're around at my parents-in-law and we're clearing up after the meal, and David takes the white tablecloth, and we see through the window this white ghostly figure who's going, woo, woo. But there again, that's David.
Back to club in 1988. After instituting EBJs and other fun youth programmes within the centre, a more serious project was undertaken, a Holocaust seminar to Germany for 10 days. Whoops. An emotional, powerful experience for all that took part, two of whom are here with us tonight, Gail Selby and Mo Cohen. Told me on just 2 days ago that the Holocaust seminar he thought was the highlight of his youth work career so far. And I asked him why, and as I asked him, I wrote it down, and he said, "What are you doing that for?" I said, "Oh, I just kind of want to know, kind of hold on to it and remember it." And he told me that it was Jewish, it was leadership, it was education, it was group dynamics, it was everything that made for perfection. And that's what it was that week in Germany. It was complete perfection. You know, it's like in Germany you expect the trains to come on time because that's what German trains do. But everything around our group worked miraculously, absolutely miraculously. It was something that it was almost like it was given from God. And I'm going to tell one story that kind of describes the miracles that happened on this seminar. One speaker came to speak to us and brought with him a companion whose name was Marina, a young woman from Germany whose name was Marina. And she spent the morning with us and she left. And that evening we went to the Olympic Stadium and we had a memorial service for ourselves outside the dormitory where the Israeli athletes had stayed before they were taken away by the terrorists and murdered. And the young people who were with us, and all of us really, were asking how could anybody live there now, because those dormitories have been turned into student dormitories. How could they be turned into dormitories? Who could live there? Who could live in that room where Israeli athletes have been dragged out and murdered? And suddenly, two people started coming up the path towards us and went into this room, went into this particular dormitory. And lo and behold, if it wasn't Marina that we met that morning, and she was there to answer this question, how could anybody live in those dormitories now? And that was the sort of magic that happened. It was unbelievable, and unbelievable is the only word really to describe David and the things that he does for everybody. It was a real privilege for me to be invited to go on that seminar. I know that it stands out as a highlight for you, and I'm sure that it stands out for as a highlight for a lot of other people. It certainly does for me. Thank you for it. Thank you, Marco Jalselvi. In 1987, the centre employed a new worker, whose position you have now made your own, senior youth worker. And you've got the chair. He cannot be here tonight, but he does have this very short message. Last celebrant. David, Ian, Fran and the boys wish you and Nikki lots of happiness and success in America. Just think about it as another year zero. Love, Ian Weiner. (1988) now, and for the first time since you started, we had an all-leaders weekend away. Bought from this weekend was a song of the which words were so meaningful of the work being done within the centre then and is still used today. Ani Vayata, you and I can change the world. If you want to stay where you are over there and do not come back to your chair. There we have some of the participants of the first all-evenings weekend away in David's career work. You'd like to, you were, a handy position, as I move this off, indiscreetly. Creeping up to date, and it's now 1989. For 4 years since your last Israel tour, this time you and Nikki took 30 young people around Israel. And as usual, a tour song evolved. And here to sing for you tonight is your 19, or most of your 1989 Israel Trek tour. Also, 1989, the course I previously mentioned, which started in 1986, you passed with flying colours, and you passed your probational year just last week. Also in 1989, Alexis Epstein was employed as JPMP worker, and 2 weeks ago she was employed as a Cochrane youth worker. Also this year, yourself and members of the senior section put together a Holocaust memorial exhibition seen by most of the community. Something a bit special now, on video. 3 people that have been around for the whole time, but you've also been here. But at the moment, they are in the country, you and Nikki are soon off to America.
We're going to have a great time and I hope you have a great time and I'll see you in Boston. Sorry we couldn't be there to share your last evening, but we will see you very soon in America and I hope it goes really, really well.
Hi guys, I hope you have a really good time. I hope you're going really well. I hope America's alright. I'm having a really great time. I'll see you in contact. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Darren White, Darren Rosen and Melanie Lynchman. Okay, coming back to Ian Wayner, whose telegram I just read out, People to Songs to the Club, that has not only been used here within the centre, but has been used outside the centre and even abroad. Any ideas, Dave? It's a toughie, I know. Well, we'll roll the video and see if that helps you remember, and also look out afterwards for something special from the day centre. I like the flowers is the song, I think. Thank you. Members of the Cabinet, and Junior Section and the Day Centre. I like the flowers sung by all sections there, including the Junior Section, whose work started in 1988, and who you have worked closely with, especially over the last year. And she will be looking for the support that you have been given over the past 7 years as she carries the good work on during this summer. I think that we've nearly covered all groups of people, well maybe except one, the community shlichim that have been here over the years. Hannah, Alex, Abby, and of course our present one, Neil. And hopefully, if you follow me this way, David, round to the side here, I have an end of a phone line. This way, please.
Hello? Hello. Is that Hannah? Hello, Hannah, it's Saul here. How are you? Okay, Hannah, at the moment you're not just speaking to me, but hopefully I'm just testing, and you should be speaking to a packed well full of people for David's last night. So
just going to have a quick little test here. I feel like still a black here on blind date. On surprise, surprise. Can everybody, Hannah, if you'd just like to say hello to everyone and they'll be able to see if they can hear you in the well.
Hello everyone, it's 1 o'clock at night here.
Okay, hold on one sec. Could we get that well? Yeah. Just about. So I'm going to pass you over to David, Hannah, and of course everyone here will hear David, but if you could just speak up a little bit more and then everyone will be able to hear you. Hello! How are you? I think it's...
You must have so many people who love you there to make such a party for you.
Yeah, I think so. Pardon?
On Friday or night?
I'm leaving the centre on Friday, yes. Yes, and we're leaving
When are you leaving England?
2 weeks after that.
Oh, I see. They said that I have no experience, so I have a whole speech for you. It's going to start.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to wish you that you have as many people there who love you as you probably have over where you're now, which I know will be anyhow. And also, I'd like to wish you that your next dog should be here.
What else from a former shipper? How are you? Okay.
The third thing is that you try and keep in touch. And write postcards from time to time so we know what to do.
I will do. I promise you I will. And can I thank you for getting me the job here at Sinclair House, which you did do. Yeah, it's all your fault actually that everybody's sitting here tonight. And take care, give my love to Mary and the kids. And we'll be in touch, yeah? And the best to you. Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you, Hannah.
I believe this.
After Hannah, I think we seem to have found out probably your job. 2 years was spent, and then after 2 years in the community, she lived on Sinclair home, and another one comes along, and with a bit of luck, if we have got the right number, you can just imagine there's someone in Israel asleep, got the wrong number, hello, got the wrong number. Well, it's on the club's phone bill, so we're hoping to get a connecting line to a household in, I think I'm right in Tel Aviv, or maybe Jerusalem, and someone should be at the end of the phone, we hope.
Ian, you better watch the phone bill.
This one's legal. Unlike some of the others that have been made for the Okay, I can just...
Hello, Abby? No, it's not David, is it? Okay, Saul, how are you? This is true, you will see myself and Alexis and 31 young people coming around Israel on the 1st of July. Listen, we're just, at the moment, just so you know, in case you say something wrong, you're not just talking to me, and you won't just be talking to David, you're talking to a packed 12, about 300 people that are here celebrating the work David's done at the centre in the form of This Is Your Life. So I'm going to pass you over to David, who everyone can hear quite clearly on a mic, but we need you to speak up a bit more than usual as I'm holding a microphone to a speaker. So I'm going to pass you over to David, and maybe you can enlighten us into the 2 years you spent here with David to some of the things he got up to. Hello!
How are you? I'm overwhelmed, I think is what I'm best word.
Well, this is what I can tell you. I just want to wish you and Vicky a bon voyage. And I'm really enjoyed the 2 years spending with you in Redbridge. I'm telling you, friend, it was brilliant.
I'm still here. And I want to thank I want to thank you for the 2 years as well. I learned a lot from you, and I really appreciated being with you.
Right, and I hope that things will move further on with the relations between Redbridge and Carmiel. We started together with a group, with the youth group, and I hope that now we'll go further on and we'll be able to establish a sort of winning with the two, the borough of Redbridge and Carmiel.
I hope so too. Thank you, Abby.
All the best to you and to Mickey. And as I told you many times during this time in Redbridge, I don't know where it's better for you to be in Redbridge or in Israel.
Have you been speaking to Hannah? Doesn't matter. Okay.
It took me 2 more years. It's best for you to be here in Israel.
Okay. Thank you, Abby. You can go to bed now. Give my love to the family.
Okay, all the best to Mickey and take care of yourself.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Thank you, Abby. Okay. This is a trek tour. We'll be meeting at Carmiel. One more phone call, Dave, to a man who came over and had to follow in Hannah's footsteps, who was around when the Jewish program first started. A friend, a man that not only you worked very closely with, but born out of his work was a great friendship, which I know has continued since his return to Israel. And hopefully again, with the wizard of technology and Ian's finger, another young man who's saying, when I spoke to Saul, he said he'd be phoning at 10 o'clock. So we're about 50 minutes late, but hopefully he's still up with us. And if we get a connecting line, we have one more person for you.
One who could be.
It's difficult, I know. We're not doing too well. He seems to be making a phone call at the moment and seems to be engaged, but just in case. Probably ringing in to find out what's going on. So it's not to go down to the section, the phone will be ringing. But we will try again. This is a bit on mobile feed for most of them. But we haven't done too bad so far.
So, I've lived.
I'm thinking, you know, it wasn't meant to be set up like this. We did have a different way of doing it, and at the last moment it was sprung on me. So I didn't have too much time to prepare. So we're going to give it one more go on the re-dance, which is a bit quicker. Few surprises tonight, Dave?
A lot.
A lot?
Very
well,
lot.
the evening hasn't finished yet.
It's cheap rate, Mr. Treasurer, it's all right.
Not in the budget. Well, anyway.
Okay, we're going to move on and we're going to get hold of this young man. So if you would like to return back to your seat that you hardly let anybody ever sit in. Am I gone? I'm still down like that. Can I do one, you know, isn't it? Thank you. Oh, you're doing it now? Yeah. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, it's not so is this up? It's a butt for me. So that, David, I have to stop you there. It's back this way. Yes, it's not Damien's land either.
Oh, sorry.
And hopefully, with a bit of luck,
on the other end of the phone I have Alex, is this right? Alex, it's Saul speaking, how are you?
Alright, so you never can guess what to wake up
At the moment, as I've previously spoken to you, at the moment you are live to the whole of the world and part of the canteen. You're talking to 300 people, so just be a bit careful with what you say about me. If it's anything you like about David, but about me, be careful. And how come David is here, and I suppose I better shut up and put him on to you. So don't forget, please speak up a bit louder, because we're holding the mic to the speaker so the whole world can hear you.
I'm here, hello! How are you? The same coming. Pardon? Tired, hot, and having a wonderful time.
It must be very exciting, 300 people looking to just say goodbye. Probably getting rid of you right now.
Probably are. Probably are. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine. Good, good. Just a little bit annoyed, so we'll be walking out at 1 o'clock. But it's the least I could do for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ask him about the 2 years.
Oh yes.
What do you remember about
Oh yes.
it?
No, let's just keep it now. It's too long time. Listen, I'll be in touch with you when we get to America.
Yes, okay. I'm very proud of you, and I envy any community over the Tuesday for the next year.
Still waiting for you, that's what he said. Okay. Thank you, thank you. You're my love to the family. Go back to bed now. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Okay, Joe, you don't need to sit down this time because you can open the present if you want to. Yeah, open the present. Well, I get some offstage info.
It's actually 1200.
First one, for me, don't get any water on camera. Dave, I've said enough. Everybody said enough. We think the last word of tonight should go to you, ladies and gentlemen. David Goldberg.
What happened tonight. I think it's just been fantastic. There are lots of thank yous that I need to make. Hopefully I'll cover everybody. Just bear with me, I know it's been a long evening. And I do want a chance to say goodbye to all of you before the end of the evening. I'll just jot down a few things so that I won't leave anybody out. That one. I'd like to thank the organising committee. I'm really angry with Saul because I was with him last night and he said he knew nothing about what was going on, and he convinced me that he knew nothing about what was going on, and it takes a major role here. I really genuinely did not know what was going to happen tonight. A few of my pictures started disappearing off my board, and people kept slamming doors on me in the last few weeks and telling me, don't come out. Just don't come out of your office for the next 10 minutes. So So I obviously knew that something was happening. I know that everybody has worked really hard. I mean, to get what people have got together tonight must have taken an eternity, and it's really fantastic, and I really appreciate everybody. Not all of you, the organising committee afterwards tonight. I really want to say thank you. So many people have said some things tonight about the work, and really the work wouldn't have been possible without lots of other people. I really genuinely mean this. First of all, over the years I've been here, I've had the privilege to work with some really exceptional people. Some of them are here this evening, and some of them are not. The full-time staff that have been here have played their part in getting the centre where it is today. And I would really like to thank all of them for being supportive around what has happened in the last few years. And I would like to wish Alexis, and especially Judith, the best of luck. I'm not saying good morning, for the time afterwards. I just want to say just a couple of words about Judith. I've worked with Judith for a couple of years now, and I would like to thank you for what you've given me in terms of your style of work. I've learned a lot from you. I feel that I've benefited, and I think young people have benefited. And it's really been a privilege to work with you in the last couple of years, and I wish you good luck for the next however many. An organisation like this can't work unless people communicate. And there's no question that the management of this centre, throughout the whole time I've been here, one or two disagreements here and there, but by and large, the management, the honorary officers, the board, Mick Cohen, has given me a tremendous amount of support, given all of us a little bit of rope, sometimes to hang ourselves, but sometimes to enable us to do some very exciting work with young people. And I think that without the support of the management, once again, this work wouldn't be done. I would really like to thank everybody that is currently serving on the management and has been in the past for their support. I really do mean that. Thanks, Thomas. Right, guess who's next? It's been my pleasure and my privilege to work alongside Ian Burkoff in the last 7 years. I remember that, so it's a story now, I'm sure you're going to know that I'm going to tell. But several years ago, we went to Israel together to select a new shliach at the time. And that was before I started work here. I got to know him pretty well. I think that helped begin our relationship, which has been very special. Ian Burkoff is a true professional, and he has guided me and guided the work since I've known him. And I owe you a lot, Ian, and I don't know how I'm ever going to repay you. And I really want to thank you for that. Before you take a camera, Nikki? Before you take a picture, Nikki? Just want to mention something about you. Can I say about Nikki at this time of night? When one gets home after a hard day and night's work that I have done, you're just sort of out of it, really. Sometimes you can be really high, sometimes you can be really low. And Nikki has been, for me, well, just incredible. And I know that anything I've done here has because I've known that you've been behind me and I couldn't have done it without you. And that goes for my parents too. I'd like to thank my mum and dad for having me. You know, it's already been said tonight that I went to work for my father when I left school at the tender age of 16. And I worked in the family business for 6 years. And it really wasn't for me. And I think my father and I went through a very traumatic few years with each other, and it was difficult. There was a lot of tension, and I think we sorted it out now. I know we sorted it out, and I want to thank both of you for also supporting me in what I've been doing here. Thank you. Someone who's not here tonight, so I'll mention him quickly, is a guy called Zach Kay. Zach has, who is currently the head of the informal department of Jewish education at the Night Synagogue. God, he must have a long car, doesn't he? Zach couldn't be here tonight, he phoned this afternoon. Zach has helped us tremendously in the last 6 months or so, introduced us to the Course in America at Brandeis, and has helped get some funding together to enable us to go. We owe him a lot. If he was here tonight, I'd say thank you, but if not, I'll still say thank you to Zach. And also, there's another person here who sings 2/3 my back, and that's Harriet, who has been my non-managerial supervisor. If you don't know what that is, I'll tell you afterwards. I've worked with Harriet for 7 years, and last week we had our final session together. And she informs me that I'm her longest supervisee. I'd like to thank you too for all the help over the years. I'm really pleased that you're here tonight, sharing this evening with me. Thank you. Now, around about this time of year, we normally have a thank you party for all our volunteers, and we sort of missed that out this year because of this, I suppose. And we have had like 2 or 3 in the last 2 or 3 years, and I want tonight to also be regarded as a thank you party for all our volunteers here. We have, in my opinion, some exceptional people who give up their time week in, week out, and play their part in the Redbridge Jewish community. Many of you here are those people. I don't know how you do it, I don't know why you do it, more than anything else. But I know that tonight is also for me a thank you to you for all your hard work this year, and just to let you know that I think you're wonderful, basically. There's not a lot I can really say any more about that tonight. Right, now let's move on now. Sorry about this, it's going to really, I hope this won't go on too long. We've already seen tonight Mrs. Bryant from the house, and Mr. Bryant, who's also here. It's my pleasure to have them here. I just wanted to thank you both for providing the backbone of many weekends away, many wonderful memories that we had. And it's really special having you here. I thank you for coming down from Margate to join us this evening. Thank you. Unfortunately, Mr. and Mrs. Bryant have retired from Lee House now. So when you go to Lee House in future, I don't know if you're going to get the same sort of quality of food, maybe even the same sort of quantity of food. There's no doubt about that when I look back over the last 7 years, that I will remember with great affection the weekends away. People have already talked about PBJ, Enjoy Being Jewish tonight. There is nothing like a weekend away, and the people out there that have never been on one, I do suggest that you go on one. There are so many memories stretching from the video camera at 7 o'clock in the morning to, as Lara said before, walking with suitcases for a mile till we got to the place. All the different games and exercises and sessions we had around the Havdalah candle, which will be very memorable for many of us. And I would like to thank all those people that made all those weekends a success. Thank you. There are many highlights. It's really hard to pick in terms of my 7 years here at Redbridge. Tonight we've seen some of them. Certainly, when I look back, last year's Israel tour will be very fond in my memory. Not only because of the amount of people that went, but it was the quality of people that went. We had a really good time. And I think Mo Cohen has blown the whistle on what was my high spot. It was really probably our trip to Germany that we did in '88. There is, Mo has already said and summed it up. It was very hard to describe what that week was about. Those people that were there will know what I mean. There are some people here tonight. And I hope that people get an opportunity to go on a similar experience in the future. It taught me a lot. Right. Now, it's I'm trying to get to the end here, can't I know it's really late. What should I do first? This one or that one? Which one should I do first? Left. Okay. The last piece of work that I've done here at Sinclair House was a seminar last Monday night, 2 nights ago, for parents and teenagers. Interestingly enough, it's what I'm most interested in now is developing work between parents and their teenage children and communication between them. I've had some very interesting time with parents here over the years. We won't go into that right now. But I think it is a really important part. If I'm sort of going to make some final statement about what my views are about certain things, I'm always thinking, what's he going to say now? I do really feel that the more parents that are involved with their children's education, the better the education. It's quite simple as that. And I hope and I wish that more parents do get involved with projects like the Parents and Teenagers Project and take more of an interest in their own children. I think that's really important. Thank you for hearing me. One of the songs that we sing is called The Circle Game, on Weekends Away. And there's a line from The Circle Game which is, you can't return, you can only look behind from where you came. And that's the sort of final message that I'm giving. Redbridge has been my life for the last 7 years, and I now have to try and find myself again. I hope I do. I can honestly say that this place has made me think, made me appreciate people, and I will miss very, very many people here who I have relationships with. The young people that come to this place are friends, and I'll miss you. I'd like to thank you all for coming and for putting up with this long evening. I don't say it in a derogatory way, because I say it in a really appreciative way. You know, often when we do these sort of things on stage here, people don't get to see the people behind it. But there's two people sitting down in the corner here who really haven't shown their face all evening. These are the important people as well as everybody else. And well, thank you two sitting here. Everybody else sitting in the corner there. There's Daniel and Daniel. It would be silly for me to mention other people who would be here till 3 o'clock in the morning. All I can say is I'd like to thank you all for coming and sharing this really special evening with me. I will be very sad to leave here on Friday. I know the stuff will go on. I know it will continue. And I ask everybody to continue to support this most wonderful organisation. Thank you.
If everybody could please stand for that football. Goldberg, this is your night. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. I'm going to have a nice evening. 1 minute? Okay,
I really want to thank people for singing there, for the most fantastic gift that you know I really wanted anyway. And I really do appreciate those people that have contributed to it, and I promise you I'll make good use of it and send videos back and let you know what's happening in America.
Everybody, thank you very much and have a safe journey. We had balance and keys on the key ring saying Elisa Wimples.